Should pilots be allowed to take a nap during a flight, like right in the cockpit? Would it improve airline safety? I'll see you in a minute. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Tina B, and this is Life with Tina B, and it is, you know what happened? Monday. And that is where I find an interesting story, be it from the news or something I've heard, and I tell you about it, and then we can have a debate about it down in the comments. Now, this one was kind of fascinating to me. Now, to cover myself for all of the, stuff, I have to tell you that I found the article on the CNN app, and the article was written by Scott R. Winter and Stephen Rice. Okay, so basically this is a big fear that I have. Flying is something that I do out of necessity. It is not something that I enjoy. I am a bit of a nervous flyer. And my nightmare has always been the pilots falling asleep and then the plane going, okay? Well, imagine finding out that this has actually really happened. Not so much the crash thing, but that pilots have fallen asleep during flights. And there was two examples of a flight going to Hawaii in 2008 where both the pilots fell asleep and they just didn't land. They just kept going. Yeah, exactly my thought. I was like, what? What do you mean now we passed it? I thought only husbands did that. I'm only kidding. Not really. So anyway, obviously both pilots had their licenses suspended and they were both fired. So, and then it happened again in 2017 at, what was it? The San Francisco International Airport. This was unbelievable to me. The pilots almost landed the plane on top of another plane. Yes, I know. Like, So obviously this has been like a real thing. So this whole thing has been debated on whether or not it would be beneficial and safer for pilots to be able to nap. Now, in the article, they mocked up an example of a pilot's schedule just to give, the reader more of an idea of what a pilot's day looks like. Because I think when you're sitting in the airport, we really only see them walk back and forth, getting on and getting off, and we don't really think about it. So I'll read you what they wrote. So say that the pilot is going to an airport in Florida. Okay, he or she is going to arrive there at 5 a.m. and the flight leaves at 6 a.m. with a 5-hour trip across country, arriving in California at 8 p.m. local time. This is very important. There's a short break and then a 90-minute flight to another California city. After landing from the second flight, that is 6.5 hours of the last 9 hours that the pilot has spent in the cockpit. The pilot has gone through 3 time zones from the start of their shift, and the body thinks it's 2 a.m. I didn't know this. But you see how it's starting to kind of make sense why any of this would happen? Okay, and then the other thing is take into account that this is if the day went perfectly smooth with no delays. Like, then add on top of that, if you have maintenance issues, weather issues, always those flyers that, you know, they're hanging in the bar and they're holding up the rest of the flight for a half an hour, you know, like other outside things that happen. So the pilot's day could actually be extended quite a bit. Now, here is the mind-blowing thing. I'm Canadian, okay? I live in Canada. Pilots here in Canada are allowed to take naps in the cockpit for longer flights. I never knew this. So this is how they do it. It is officially called controlled rest in position, or CRIP, okay? And what that means is they can have a nap right there in the cockpit, no more than 40 minutes, okay? And then they must wake a half an hour before the beginning of descent, okay? But for the first 15 minutes of that, after they wake up, they may not take control of the plane, okay? So they have to have, from waking up, they have to have 15 minutes to get over. Like, think about it, when you first wake up, you're all disoriented and groggy and stuff. So, and then they can resume the flight once that's all done. And the only exception is obviously during an emergency. So I have to say though, I was kind of shocked when I heard it, and at first I was sort of taken aback, but then I thought, well, no, I'm strangely comforted by that, to know that you know, you've got your pilot and your co-pilot, and at least you know, they can have that little cat nap to, you know, refresh themselves. Personally, I'm okay with it. I'm good. However, my American friends, because this is not something that happens in the States. And actually, this is where this is all being debated, my friends. They are doing surveys to see how the American public feels about this. And an interesting debate about this subject is they are finding that apparently men seem to be more receptive to the idea than women are. Now, I was kind of about that. I would love to know where they got this information, but like I said, I'm putting the article down below. You can decide for yourself. But do chime off below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you would be comfortable with that or it would bother you. And if there's anybody else that watches and you know for a fact that you have this in your country as well, where your pilots are allowed to nap, I would love to hear about it. So I will see you guys again on Thursday. And like always, I love you like mad. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.